This video is brought to you by my latest book, How to Play Melodic Rock Lead Guitar, a comprehensive guide to doing exactly that, playing melodic rock lead guitar. This is not just some collection of scale patterns and tabs, although you do get plenty of those, but you also get an entire chapter on how to come up with your own licks, as well as video content, tutorials and demonstrations, loads of jam tracks, and all the way through I'm encouraging you to expand your fretboard knowledge and showing you how you can think in a more musical and melodic way. Check out the link in the description for more details. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. That little solo was me doing my best to illustrate the solution to a problem that many guitarists find themselves facing. It's a frustrating one, this, or it can be. And it was most recently brought to my attention by a chap who comes to the house here for lessons. And he recounted the tale of what happened to him on a recent open mic night, where basically he'd got up on stage with somebody else. The other guy was going to be playing acoustic guitar and singing, and my pal, the chap who comes for his lessons here, was just going to be playing a bit of lead guitar. And he said, do you know what it was? I just couldn't find the right notes. I said, well, what scale to use, what key you were in? He says, oh no, I had all that down, but none of the notes that I played sounded any good. Everything sounded a bit weak. So I inquired about what the chord sequence was he was playing over, and I put together a little loop of that, and I said, right, okay, have at it, give it a go, and let's hear the sort of thing you were playing. And immediately I saw the problem, and the solution was obvious if you knew what you were listening for. He was indeed missing out some very important notes, if you can call them that, namely these. And if you're not clued up on musical symbols, they are rests. Moments of silence, pauses, gaps, punctuation between your phrases, and that's what he was missing out. Here's some information and a little bit of an illustration of the power of leaving gaps.
Here is the explanation.
Okay, there's not really much to explain here other than just shut the hell up, or words to that effect. Let me show you what I mean. Here's a solo where I'm just kind of rambling. It starts off okay, but by the time, after like even only a short 8-bar solo, by the time we're kind of getting to the back end of it, it's starting to sound a little bit noodly and rambly and a bit shapeless. See what I mean? Now, let's try the same thing again, but this time I'm going to start off with the same phrase, but just have a listen how much more effective it is because it's got punctuation in there. There are pauses for breath. I think you'll agree, much more effective. I'm not saying don't, kind of unleash a barrage of fiery, fast licks and, kind of bombard the listener with notes, but you got to get there somehow. If you just start off by playing without any pauses or rests in there, then, it becomes very, very tiresome very, very quickly. Think about it like a horn player would, say a sax player or something, they've only got a certain amount of breath in their lungs that will produce a certain number of notes. Yes, I know there's a technique called circular breathing where they can replenish the reservoir of breath as they're playing, but, that is, something that we'll just kind of park that for the moment. But basically, imagine your solos are lung powered, and that's going to do a number of things. Did you notice in that sort of more restrained solo that I did earlier, how I was able to keep on using the same basic lick and just, kind of end it differently each time or come up with variations on it? You get more mileage out of the licks that you've got. That's a good thing because you're punctuating them. And the other thing that it does is if you're imagining that your solos are, as I say, lung powered, then they're going to sound more human, more vocal, more like that thing that we often, kind of say about a great guitar player, that they can make the instrument sing. So it's just some food for thought, leave some gaps, try and back off, and just don't let your fingers run away with what I call fretboard Tourette's, where you just kind of can't stop yourself playing. I think the mindset is often that you're playing and you're hearing what you're doing and it's sounding not ideal, and you're thinking maybe the next note is the one that'll tie a big old bow on it and make it sound fantastic. Oh no, that one didn't, but maybe the next one will. Maybe the next one, maybe the next one, and you end up just playing this continual noodly kind of string of notes that seems to not have any shape or any substance to it. Those are just my thoughts. It works for me, and as I say, it worked for the chap I was talking about earlier. So now you know what to do. Go away and have some fun with it. So another way that I like to illustrate this is that what we're trying to do when we're playing a solo is we're trying to create something memorable. How do you make something memorable? Well, repetition is something of an obvious thing that you can employ. Back in the days before we had mobile phones, and somebody, there was a phone number you wanted to remember, and you were scrabbling around desperately for a pen, okay, to kind of jot it down on the back of your hand or something. That you would repeat that number over and over in your head, just so it was it was memorable. Repetition leads to something being memorable. But there's another factor as well. Instead of notes, let's think about numbers. Okay, if I was to say to you, repeat the following string of numbers, then you'll probably find it pretty easy. 4, 9, 12, 8, 17. It's easy, isn't it? 4, 9, 12, 8, 17. Easy. It's short, it's succinct, it's easy to remember. Now try the same thing with this string of numbers. 4, 9, 12, 8, 17, 55, 37, 89, 6 and 15. Yeah, that's going to take a little bit more effort, isn't it? And that longer string of numbers, you can make the analogy between that and a long, uninterrupted string of notes. It's not going to be memorable because it's got, it's just too much to process. By all means, as I said in that clip earlier, don't feel like you have to play it in a minimalistic way. If you want to build up a head of steam and fire off some shreddy kind of fiery shenanigans towards the end of a solo as a big climactic moment, then yeah, let's do that. But you've got to get there somehow, as I said. By the end of the lesson, I'd said to this chap, I said, okay, play about 40% of what your gut instinct is telling you to play. And he immediately sounded more tuneful, more melodic, more memorable, and like a pro, basically. And he was champing at the bit for the next open mic night when he could put this into action in a real world situation. So yeah, the power of rests, gaps, pauses, whatever you want to call them, it's often overlooked, and it's the simplest thing to do. It gives you more thinking time, and it just works. By the way, the solo at the beginning of the video, there is, as usual, a full tab available for that in both PDF and Guitar Pro formats, along with the clip of me playing it and the jam track to play along with yourself. All of that is up on my Patreon page. There's the address, link in the description. As I'm sure you know by now, it's $3 or about £3 a month, and you get access to all of these additional goodies that go along with these YouTube videos. And of course, a massive thank you to everyone who supports me in that or any of the other ways, all of which are downstairs in the description. And that is pretty much it for today, folks. Hope you've enjoyed the video and found it useful and informative and possibly even entertaining in some small way. And if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. Why not drop me a like as well while you're at it? And of course, don't forget the live stream every Friday, 5 PM UK time, where we just have a beer and a chat, basically, because it's Friday, and it is a great, fantastic way to kick off the weekend, I think, and I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.